Hello YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Mark and Kelly's Trips, Tips and Things. So today we're going to be doing a little taste test. Look at this. So this is actually something Kelly spotted. We've been eyeing these up for a while, and it's something we're going to try. So what are we going to be testing today?
These are Marks&Spencer's cake jars. They just brought them out and they do 3 flavours, which this one is the raspberry ripple cake jar.
There we go. There we go. Right, look at the ripples of, you can see bits of cake in there, you can see the raspberry in there, and it looks like a custard in there. Or buttercream, sorry. It looks like a buttercream, I think, that's in there. There we go. So the Trillionaire cake, and like any Trillionaire cake, based upon the Millionaire shortbread. You've got lovely unctuous goo, chocolate and caramel in there.
And then this is based on the Caterpillar.
Colin the Caterpillar. So there you have it, 3 cake jars for us to try. Now, if you've seen any of our previous videos, Kelly's done some amazing cake jars that she's made herself. So part of that is, please check those out. Part of what we want to do is compare it to the homemade ones. This is new. This is what we're going to try. We're going to be right at it now.
I'm going to link the homemade cake jars in the description below, so you can check out the homemade cake jars compared to the shop bought cake jars.
Now, I'm not going to say, for me, her cake jars are delicious. So they've got a big reputation, these to hit. Big reputation. Right then, which one are we going to try first?
We have our spoons. There we go.
I'm a bit eager to try.
What one do you want to try first?
Do you know what? You know, when you try these things as well, I always think try the worst one first, because then you won't be disappointed in the last. But I don't know what's the worst one. I would say this one.
Really? See, I would say the Trillionaire.
All right, we'll do the Trillionaire.
Yeah?
You get to decide.
Right, okay. So let's try the Trillionaire first. And I do love chocolate. I do love caramel. And I do love cake. So I don't know why I think that out of the 3 that this would be the least. But I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, we're going to try.
We're going to try.
Break that
So
seal.
here we go.
Now, I'm assuming in this you've got, I can see the chocolate, I can see the toffee pieces. Oh, look at that. Do you want me to show?
Yeah.
I've got a longer arm.
Yeah.
So as you can see from the top there, as I'm going to show, you've got toffee pieces in there, you've got that unctuous chocolate, and it looks like what sort of Malteser type chocolate pieces in there. I don't know if they have got crisp in them or if they're solid chocolate. We're about to find out. But anyway, that's the topping for it.
Do you want to smell it?
Cake batter chocolate.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So what's it got here? Madeira sponge cake layered with salted caramel sauce. Oh, salted caramel, chocolate ganache, fudge cubes, and milk chocolate biscuit balls.
Oh,
so,
I wonder, yeah. I wonder if they're like malted, which is like Maltesers.
Maltesers. Yeah. Right, let's give them a go.
All right, so I'm going to try and get a bit of everything then.
Go on, you take a bit. And then let me grab a bit before you.
I don't want to get like loads of it, but yeah. I don't think I've got any of the caramel. Hold on.
No, you need some of the caramel.
Okay, I've got the caramel now.
Okay. There we go. So 2 picking. Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Ching.
Right, let's go.
Right.
That's rich. That's a rich, buttery goodness. What do you think?
There's not enough cake in it.
Now, interestingly enough, do you know what, to me, this ganache tastes like, not, I shouldn't say raw batter, but it reminds you of cake batter. I know what you're saying with the cake. There isn't much cake in there.
No.
For a cake jar, there's just tiny pieces of cake in it.
Yeah, it's like tiny squares of cake. And I think the cake ratio to the, you know, salted caramel and the ganache ratio is not in sync.
I agree. Actually, I've got to say, I agree with Kelly there. There's very little cake in there, even though this is supposed to be a cake jar. It's mainly filling. And so it's very, very sweet. So if you have a sweet tooth, if you do like Millionaire shortbread, so that mixture of salted caramel and chocolate, this is definitely for you. It's not very salted caramel for me. It's that chocolate ganache is delicious, I have to say.
Yeah. Oh, it's very tasty. It's very, very tasty. However, for me, it's too sweet because there isn't enough. Do you know what I mean? There isn't enough cake ratio in there. It's like thick layers of chocolate and thick, you know, caramel, and then you've got the chocolate, and then you've got the fudge pieces and all of that type of stuff, and then not enough cake.
I agree.
Yeah, it's nice, don't get me wrong. If you like that type of thing, definitely it's for you. It's not bad at all by any stretch, just it needs more substance to it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. What Kelly said is absolutely right. Because there are tiny pieces of cake interwoven there, it's very difficult to get that cake taste. And the cake itself is a very, very subtle sponge, and I think that's obviously deliberate. If you had chocolate cake in there, that would totally get overwhelmed by the ganache,
yeah,
and the caramel sauce. Yeah, Madeira sponge. I can't taste the Madeira sponge. So not bad.
It's not bad. I mean, if you watch the cake jar that I made, I actually put a whole circle of cake. So you had a circle of cake, ganache, and then another circle of cake, and then, do you know what I mean, chocolate ganache on the top. Or I did one that was lemon drizzle cake as well. But yeah, I felt that was a good ratio. Some people might say too much cake, I don't know. I don't think you can ever have too much cake though.
No, I don't know. I know you would like your cake. Okay then, so we're going to give that out of 10.
I'd give it a 6.5, and that's not because it was bad. It's because it was just too it was too sweet. There wasn't enough cake.
I was going to go 7, funny enough. I don't, and I think that's a fair, 6.5 or 7 is a fair result. I think, you know, like I said, it could be improved, but don't get me wrong, if you're a chocolate ganache lover, that is for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Sweet. Right, there we are. So that is the Trillionaire cake jar. Right, which one are we going to do next?
Let's go for the raspberry ripple.
Good idea. Now we're going to break up the 2 chocolates with a little bit of raspberry ripple. So this is layers of Madeira sponge, or Madeira sponge again, raspberry jam, vanilla buttercream, and freeze-dried raspberry pieces. So we better take a bit of water because that chocolate was quite strong. Right, there we go. Oh, look at that. It does taste like a buttercream. There we go. And you can see there, you've got the buttercream on the top, and you've got these little flakes of raspberry pieces on the top. So, here we are. Right then, so you want to grab a little spoonful. Alright, so I've got a good scoop of both. Oh, it looks like it's got jelly at the bottom. Alright, here we go. That is like a Victoria sponge to me, but with a lot of buttercream.
Yeah. It's nice. For me, it's less sweet than the Trillionaire, but again, not enough cake.
Yeah, I agree with that again. It needs more cake. They've put loads and loads of filling in there. They haven't trusted the cake.
Yeah, and that's almost like like a Victoria sponge.
It's very much like a Victoria sponge. So just sponge, jam. The jam in that, I have to say, is delicious. I'm not a big buttercream fan. So me personally, like Kelly, I would want less buttercream in this, more sponge. But keep the level of jam. That jam is delicious.
But it's like you've got a pot of jam with a sprinkling of a bit of cake and then buttercream.
That's grown on me.
Yeah?
Right. How does it compare to the Millionaire Shortbread? Or Trillionaire Shortbread, I should say.
They're both nice. It's just that one's more rich because it's chocolate and caramel. And this one's a little bit light, but it's still rich in the sense that it's got jam. This one tastes more sugary.
Yes, you're right. This is very... Ironically, I'm trying to find it hard to judge which was sweeter.
Yeah.
For me, this is better.
I think because chocolate is very rich. So you get that rich, and you got the chocolate, you got the caramel, then you got the fudge and all of that. So that's what's rich. But this, you can taste the sugar because of the jam. Because there's so much jam in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of jam in that. I'm just staring at it. It's that smell. Okay, what are you going to give this one out of 10?
I think I'd give it the same as 6.5.
Really? I'm going to give that an 8.
Yeah?
Yeah, it definitely gets a higher score than that for me.
Yeah. I think they're both nice, except this one just tastes of sugar. So let me just, I don't know if you can, the camera can pick it up.
Sorry, I'm putting it all forward.
Okay, so this one just tastes of a lot of sugar, and this one just tastes very rich. So it depends on what your level is. Don't get me wrong, they've probably all got a lot of sugar in them, to be fair. But I think it goes on preference. Do you like chocolate or do you like jam?
There you go.
That's the question. I mean, if you like both, then obviously you have to get both. But that's the question. Do you like caramel and chocolate? Do you like jam?
Do you know what? That's a really good point. It very much is down to preference. I think if you are more like a Victoria sponge person, you would go with that one. If you love your chocolate cake and your ganache, that's one for you.
I mean, they're both good. They're both good. Just for me, they're too sweet.
Right, there we are. So our last one of the range is the Colin the Caterpillar one. So this is based, I'm assuming,
on Colin the Caterpillar cake.
Colin the Caterpillar cake that you get in an M&S. So chocolate sponge cake layered with white and milk chocolate chips, chocolate ganache, and a chocolate Colin the Caterpillar face. And I can't see his face.
It might be in the lid.
Ooh, let's have a look. Right, let's open her up.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
There he is. Yeah, there's his tongue sticking out with all the chocolate chips in.
I want to have a smell. Okay. Smells very similar to the Trillionaire.
Yeah, it's that type of milky chocolate. I'm not sure I'm going to like this, but we'll try.
Yeah.
Alright, so.
I think, though, this ganache is different to this ganache, because you can tell.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot
that
darker.
that they are different.
So. Oh, I don't know. I think those two chocolates are the same. I think this bit at the bottom's different.
I don't think they're the same. But anyway,
we'll see.
We'll find out.
Now, it looks like what Kelly's getting her spoonful is this has got actually chocolate cake in it.
Yeah.
So chocolate cake and chocolate ganache. So this is all chocolate with white chocolate pieces. Right, there you are. There's your little spoonful. I'm going to get my little spoonful. Wow. I say little spoonful.
Yeah, exactly. The way you were digging that out, that was no way going to be a little spoonful.
There we go. All for the taste test.
All for science.
Chink.
Okay.
Now, what do you think?
Out of all three, this is the least rich.
Yes, I agree. But this is the one I like the least.
Oh, really?
And you know why?
Go on.
It's because for me it's chocolate, 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 which is okay. One of the things I'm not a fan with chocolate of is when you get cheap chocolate cakes. I'm not saying this is a cheap chocolate cake. You get the cheap chocolate cakes, and it's just got that taste of the taste of chocolate. It's almost like a grainy chocolate.
I don't get that with this.
Maybe it's me. To me, it's just a standard chocolate cake. Do you know what it is? So, and I think I figured that out. Because it's nothing but chocolate. If you're a chocoholic, that is for you. But for me, it needs something extra in it to break up the chocolate. It needs a cream or something in it.
I get what you're saying.
Do you see what I'm saying? With these two, you've got a nice flavour blend. So this one, you've got chocolate and the salted caramel. This one you've got raspberry and the buttercream, so they contrast each other. That was just chocolate.
Yeah, this is just chocolate. So.
And different levels of chocolate.
Yeah, different sort of. You've got a ganache down here of some sort, and then you've got a different type of ganache here. So I'm just trying to see what it is. I don't know. It doesn't tell you what the two chocolate ganaches are. So I don't know what that bottom one is.
And to be honest with you as well, I think had we started with that one, it may have been a different story because that was the first one.
Yeah, but if you look at the bottom...
I'm going to try this one again.
Right there.
Do you want me to do that?
Yeah. So that's the ganache at the bottom, along with white chocolate chips. Now, if you turn it on its side, you can see that there's another ganache there, which is lighter.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the differences are between those two ganaches.
Yeah, for me that's too chocolate. And like I said, I may have changed my mind if that went first, but for me that's just it tastes like a standard chocolate cake. Which is fine, nothing wrong with that, but I think these, if I was given the choice, oh right, this would come on to the next thing actually. Well, I cleanse my palate with some cake. Right. Given the choice of the three, so that is the Trillionaire shortbread, the raspberry ripple cake jar, and the Colin the Caterpillar, rank them in your order. Can you do that? What would be 1, 2 or 3, or are they much of a muchness?
I would go for this one over the other two. You know why? Because although I couldn't eat a whole pot of any of them, because I couldn't, I could pleasantly, I suppose, eat part of this and then save it. With these two, the fact that they're so sweet would disturb me a little bit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So it's almost like thinking, oh God, that's like so sweet. It kind of puts me off, the fact that they're so sweet. But they are nice, but they're only nice if you like rich, sweet things. So if rich, sweet thing is your thing, then these are the two to go for. If you like chocolate cake and things like that, this is the one to go for. I don't consider this too rich. However, I consider it a lot of chocolate. So I couldn't eat a whole one.
No, and I know what you're saying actually. Kelly's absolutely right. Because there's so much cream and ganache and chocolate, buttercream, whatever it will be.
And it all sounds good. It all sounds lovely.
But it's incredibly rich. And I tell you, because you look at that and you think, well, that's not huge. I could jam that quite easily. But you don't want too much of it. It's something you would have as a snack or as a dessert. And I would probably part of that and think, well, that's enough.
Yeah.
I don't want any more than that.
And these run about £4 or just over £4 each. No, they're £4 each, I think. And I think that is quite a lot for a cake jar of this size.
I think probably as well, like you say, you're paying partly for the container. I do agree with you. Given the choice, I would probably go for an actual slice of cake.
Yeah, because like if you wanted to, if you went into Marks&Spencer's and you bought a jam donut, or if they do a box of 6 of the Yum Nuts, and I think the Yum Nuts might, I don't know how much the Yum Nuts run actually for a box of 6.
I'm going for again.
But for, I mean, that's £12 for 3 jars of cake, and I think that you could buy a gâteau for that for £12.
Well, yeah. So I think there's a novelty factor of them because they're and they are quite handy to have. So my preference will be, starting from your side of the top, number 1, so complete opposite to you. Number 1, number 2, number 3. The raspberry ripple for me is number 1. Number 2 is the Trillionaire shortbread. Number 3 is the Colin the Caterpillar. I would say, like you said, I totally agree with what Kelly says. I think when you're getting these, you're paying for the uniqueness and the funness of it. That in a party would be great to have. If you just had them all laid out, someone could just grab it and take it.
Yeah. I think for ease and things like that. But is it worth the money?
Yeah, I agree. I think...
Is it worth... So if you buy 3 of these, this was £12. Is it worth it?
No, I agree with you. I would rather buy a cake. But then again, you get the variety here with the
Yeah.
cake offers. You get the one, but yeah, looking about if you know there's one specific one you want. If you wanted all three, yeah, I would get them.
But you could even get the smaller cakes. I think they run about a couple of pounds. So if you wanted to get 3 different flavours, that'd cost you 6.
Yeah.
Compared to a jar of cake that's not even full cake in there. That's what makes it not worth it to me, I think. The fact that there's not even full cake. If there was full cake in there, despite it being quite small, because that is quite small. I mean, I've got really small hands, so look at it. I mean, Mark, put it in your hands. Your hands are ginormous. Do you know what I mean?
Them.
Yeah, and you think that's £4. So, very nice. And if you want to try them, most definitely do not try them. You have to try them just to see. But I wouldn't buy these again.
Well, there you are. There you have it. If you do want to have a go at making your own, do watch Kelly's cake jars that she made herself. They are really good. I'm not just saying that she's next to me. I did jam a lot of that, and you'll see that in the video. Okay, there we go. So that's our review. I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please like, share and subscribe this video. It really does help us make more videos as well. We will be doing a lot more reviews on new foods coming out, new takeaway foods coming out, and we're really looking forward to get back into those restaurants to do some more reviews in the restaurants. As always, please look after yourself, take care, and remember, you are never too old to have fun. Take care now. Bye.
Bye for now.